Batman returns to the big screen, and everybody's asking, is this the return of awesome Batman movies? Well, if you don't know, what do? You ask a nerd. And so this is the Nerd World Order spoiler-free review of The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, directed by Matt Reeves. Now, as a nerd, there are 4 things that we look for in order to determine if a movie is good or not. Acting, action, special effects, story. Put them all together, a possible 4 nerd flags. As a nerd, I have been a Batman fan for years. I've read the comic books, loved Batman 66, loved Michael Keaton in Batman 89, everything. I love the Dark Knight trilogy, all parts, including Bane. So let's get into it from a certified Bat nerd to tell y'all what I think about the movie. Let's start off with the acting. People initially thought, Robert Pattinson, oh my god, this is the guy from Twilight. Well, you damn haters, he kicked ass, did a great job. He is Bruce Wayne. He is Batman. No more argument, no more discussion needed. Now, Pattinson is a very different Bruce Wayne than we've seen before, and that's what makes him such a compelling character. He's a very different Batman than we've seen before, and that what is really what makes him far more interesting than the other Batmans than we've seen before. Not better, just more interesting than what we've seen, because it's a brand new take, and I really like it. We also have Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Great job. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Overall, one enthusiastic nerd flag for the acting in The Batman. Now let's move on to the action. The action was great. It was realistic. It had you on the edge of your seat. Kick-ass car chases. Yes, I do want to get me a Batmobile. Everyone knows how I drive. I'm getting me a Batmobile. I do want to strap a turbo engine, a jet engine to my car. Action scenes were awesome. The fights were awesome. The car chases were awesome. Everything was awesome. One nerd flag. Action. The Batman. Special effects. Let me ask you one question. Did you know that was Colin Farrell? Did you forget it was Colin Farrell? Yeah, you did. And so did I. The makeup effects in this movie were great. The bat suit was great. Everything about this movie, the explosions, whatever CGI they use, the practical effects. This movie had some great natural fights. Now, I love me Marvel fights. I always love Marvel fights, but as we know, they are a little bit over the top. This was different. This was a guy who is new to doing his craft, to being a vigilante, kicking ass, also getting his ass kicked a little bit. Deliver though with that action. So if you're keeping track, I'm watching a DC movie and I'm giving it 3 nerd flags. But the most important part as a nerd, since we all grew up reading Batman comic books, and this is supposed to be based on the comic book The Long Halloween. The second year of Batman is what this is. Let's talk about that story. That is the problem for me, ladies, gentlemen, and knights. I thought it was a decent story. I feel like it was well directed. I felt like the cinematography really helped to bring the story home. But it was a very bloated, long story that you could have left a lot of stuff out of and had just as an impactful movie. Which is why, as much as I did enjoy the movie, I would have liked less story. I would have liked story that didn't... It had a few tropes. It had a few lazy tropes. Of course, there's a love story, and of course it's like, oh, really? This happened in the past? Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not a spoiler, but I could have stripped that story down, probably about 20%, you know what, 10%, because it's still an A. You could have taken 10% out, and it would have been fine. But that's no nerd flags for the story. I'm going to say it was a decent story, but it was bloated, and it detracted from the movie. So if you're counting, that's 3 enthusiastic nerd flags for the Batman. Oh, but wait, there's more. This is my public service announcements, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order. Do not sit through the end credits. You'll walk out pissed off, disappointed, and basically take away a portion of the joy that you could have had walking out of Batman. Do not sit through the end credits. Worst end credits in the history of cinema. Period. Bar none. Question mark. None. Worst end credits ever, to the point of we've got 3 nerd flags and we're going to take 1 away, leaving 2. Still enthusiastic, but slightly disappointed. 2 nerd flags for the Batman. Because you know what? You don't make someone sit through a movie for that trash. Public service announcement, just Google it. Just look it up. Wikipedia it. Do not sit through that. It's just going to leave it pissed off like I am now just talking about it. When I was all happy about Batman before, I was like, oh my God, it's finally a good DC movie. And then they gave me those after credits and I was like, ah! 2 nerd flags now. Don't do that crap. Ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I still strongly encourage you to get your 3 nerd flag Batman. Enjoy it because you're going to. 3 nerd flags for the Batman. If you want to bring it down to 2, you sit through those credits. So until next time, ladies, gentlemen, IamInWO.com, because I know you've been asking the whole time, oh my God, Deuce, where did you get that badass Bat Nerd shirt? IamInWO.com. Anyway, until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and knights of the Nerd World Order, I am in WO, we are in WO, and we are, you can say it with me, not the Batman, not vengeance. We are nerds redefined.